When we left for this camping trip, I'm going to be honest, I was feeling less than whole. I felt like my edges were folded, a little dog-eared. I really needed some time for me. And while we were on a camping trip as a family with 2 other families, and there was plenty of time throughout the day for fun and laughter and conversation, it was these moments in the morning that helped me stretch and straighten and push out those bends and find me again, find all of the flat edges of me. I got up early most mornings and disappeared down for a run on the beach and a climb on the headland at Waddy Point, and just took some time with my thoughts, with the sunrise, with the beautiful view. And man, I think that was just the most magical part of the trip, were those brief little moments that I found in the morning, just moments like this, to just look at the sun over the water, just take in the peace, take in the quiet, enjoy the nature. There were plenty of dingoes around, there was lots of bird life, fish jumping out of the water, just beautiful moments. Now, I did still do some sketching throughout the days. Like here, this was one of our friends camping with us, just perched their chair up by the side of the water. And it seemed like a great moment to capture. I loved that shot of that dingo, so I decided to have a quick sketch of it. It was just, sitting on the beach, scratching its head like an everyday dog, and it just captured my attention. Towards the end of the trip, I was really kind of finding me again and feeling strong again. And this particular moment just got me. I felt good on this day. That morning was a brand new day. The colors were amazing. I loved just the deep silhouette and shadow of that piece of driftwood stuck into the sand. The footsteps around it, the car tire tracks, the glass-like water off to the side, and that sun just beaming through the clouds. This was one of those moments that you want to just put a pin in it. And I know sometimes when I take these photos that they're one I'm going to want to go away and spend some time drawing. And so that's what I did with this one. Later that day, I decided to have a crack at a digital drawing of that photo. So just sitting back in camp after dinner, around the table, half joining in the conversation with the people I'm there with, half doodling, referencing my phone. And I just, get to spend a little bit longer in that moment that had felt like such a beautiful moment for me. So I always start with that kind of rough sketch to go, what am I looking at? What are the lines, the shapes, the sections of this thing? Not what is the thing as a whole, but what are the pieces within it that I'm seeing? And then I start to look to color, because I think color for me is one of the things that I love the most about drawing, is just kind of going, well, what shade captures that moment? What am I trying to say here? And especially when you're looking at the clouds and the sky and the water, because we always think of those things as just blue. But when you really look at them and the colors you might need to produce them, it's not always blue. Sometimes you're painting a purple and grey sky. Sometimes the water is just reflecting exactly what is sitting beside it, which could be sand, it could be trees, it could be anything. I love the fact that when you really take the time to sit in a moment and really look at it, I love to ask myself the question, what color palette would I be using if I were to draw or paint this moment? And for me, it's just this really nice, mindful context, a way to just sit in it a little bit longer and enjoy it a little bit deeper than I would if I just went, oh, cool shot, got the photo, move on, keep going. It's just one of the prompters that I use. So I will just sit there and go, wow, this is beautiful. What colors am I actually seeing here? and just spend some time to really take that in. So it's one of the processes I love with the digital drawing as well, is that you don't have to nail it first go, because you can go back step, or you can delete a layer, or you can overlay other layers. The idea of building the right colors and tones and textures gradually and iteratively, and watching something come together and come to life in pieces before your eyes, I really love that process. It's a soothing process to my soul. It really captures my imagination. It's where I can really find some time of flow, is when I get to kind of just sit and enjoy something through just that lens of just, where do I need to add color? Where do I need to add depth? Is that the right tone? Have I captured that in the right way? And I spend more time thinking about those colors and textures, I think, than the actual shapes sometimes. Or do I have the scale right? I mean, all things that I can continue to work on and build skill in as I do more and more of this digital drawing. I mean, this style of drawing is very new to me, but I really enjoy how it makes me feel. So I know that over time, with more dedicated practice, I will get better at it, because I like the way it makes me feel, and I want to spend more time sitting in it. But all in all, I have to say, this camping trip, and any time that I've visited Gurry, or as we used to say, Fraser Island, it just is always a teaching holiday for me. I feel like that island has this ability to just teach me something about myself. And they're not always easy lessons. Sometimes they're hard. Sometimes, like, it feels mean. But I always appreciate it. I always walk away a better version of myself than I walked onto that island as. And this time I feel like it showed me how to find some strength when I didn't feel like I had any left. And it showed me, or reminded me, where my boundaries are. That I don't need to fold my corners down to fit into someone else's space. My corners are my corners. And my boundary is where it is. And I need to be strong and hold on to that. And I feel like that's the real lesson I walked away from this trip with. This renewed sense of self, strength, and boundaries. And a determination to not feel folded again in the future. That's really the goal I take away. I'm not folding. I don't want to be dog-eared. I want my pages straight. I want my corners crisp. I want to know where those edges are. And so that's what I'll be focusing on for myself for the next little while. And I'll continue to reflect on that in my journal. I mean, I did so on the island, and I will continue to do so now that I'm home, because I feel like there's more for me to unpack in there as to how did I get to that place, and how can I make sure I don't get there again. But I love being able to share these moments with you, these moments of just kind of letting you inside my brain. What am I thinking when I'm making some of these pictures? What inspires me to make them? How I'm learning as I go. The fact that most of these pictures that I share with you, they're not that fabulous, because I am learning this skill. But I love that I can throw it open and share it with you, even filled with imperfection, because I would like to think that the journey is just as useful for you as it is for me. Being able to talk about the why and the how, and not just the what, because I think sometimes it's those spaces in between that really teach us things, and where we really connect as humans.